Hey folks, another boring backdrop post. The reason why I'm not showing too many guitars these days is I'm winding down things, not just for the move, but I'm making a sort of scouting mission um, starting tomorrow. So I had to take all my ads down for a couple of weeks. So I am heading to Dublin to hook up with my son and spend 5 days there. Then we're taking the ferry to, first of all, Wales and then England, and I'm going to start looking for a place to live, and that'll probably be until about the 29th, about two and a half weeks. Then I'll be back here wrapping stuff up for a couple of months and possibly having more guitars to both sell and show on the channel. So bear with me. I know this is the boring backdrop. A couple of you have noticed the skateboard hanging. Yes, that's going with me. That's my son's skateboard. He got rid of about 4 of them and kept that one. So yeah, the house and garage is getting bare. Garage is getting bare. I do double pronunciation of the word garage, don't I? Garage, for my English and American friends. It's getting bare. Getting ready for the movers to come the beginning of next month, first week into next month, and haul some of this stuff off. So that's the deal with me. Some interesting stuff I've seen recently. I don't watch all of their videos. I probably only watch 1 in 10, if that. But I did see an interesting conversation between Anthony Fantano, who does the Needle Drop channel, and our friend Rick, who has a very successful channel as well. That's Reverb Beato, for those of you who don't know. It was interesting because it got into a lot of the same topicality that we've covered on this channel about music. They talk about the generational difference between baby boomers not willing to listen to any new music, sort of locking into a taste or a collection of bands by their college years and not really being adventurous. And Rick talked about bucking the trend and keeping a hunger and thirst for new music. And then Fantano came from the younger generation perspective and sort of lamented that the is it the Gen Z people are not into music as much because there's no way to collect it anymore. It's not an ownership thing. Musical media for the mainstream. I know there's still some of us freaks that collect musical media. I've got 12 boxes behind me that I'm going to try to ship like a fool. But you know, by and large, you know, he was talking about the kids not really being into bands, being more into video games and that sort of culture, online culture. And with social media and all that stuff, it sort of changes the approach to music. It's not the same as before, where you would save your paycheck and go to a record store and a lot after you pay the rent, so much money to buy new records, and then you would sit and play them and read the sleeve notes and look at the gatefolds. And now there's nothing like that in younger culture. If you want to hear something, you go to Spotify, you hear a song, you like it or don't like it, you rarely listen to the album, you don't have much of an album experience. So it was an interesting conversation between them. I'm really impressed by the sheer scope of Anthony's reviews on the Needle Drop. He calls himself the internet's busiest music nerd, and that's no joke. I mean, he really does review literally hundreds of albums a year, which is a big commitment, both in time, passion, and, you know, just keeping up your research ethos, you know, to go and look at these bands and spend some time with the music and learn about the bands and artists and things like that. Of course, most of you know Reverb Beato for his more music theory and guitar-centered videos, where he breaks down certain songs and talks about you know, certain genres of music coming from a the perspective of a former music professor, college professor, and more lately a producer of some reputable music, somewhat successful in his tenure as a producer. So always interesting to hear other people's take on that. I just mentioned the video because I watched it last night. It caught my eye. I watched it. It was really interesting and sort of touched on some of the issues that we've talked about on this channel maybe 2 or 3 times. And it's interesting because some of you watch this channel for just the guitar stuff, just for the instruments, which is fair enough. I mean, that's the central thrust of the channel. And then others of you watch the more topical stuff where I sort of launch into music, the wider world of music and other related topics rather than just showing you instruments and guitars. So I appreciate both fragments of my audience, and I appreciate those of you who stick with it for all of it. So I really enjoyed the comments. I really enjoyed replying to a lot of you recently. I'm still keeping up my practice of trying to reply to everyone who makes a comment. I decided to do that from the beginning. I think it shows that you care about your audience. No matter how big you get as a YouTuber, it's important to me. I will say though, however, I've not figured out, there are some comments where people comment and I see it on my bell, when you click on the bell and see the announcements. I see the comment, and when I click on the comment to go and reply to it, it's just gone. It's just disappeared. I did Google that issue, and it does seem to be an issue with YouTube, and a lot of people are frustrated by it. So if I don't reply your comment, it's not because I dislike your comment or disagree with you. It's because I can't get to it. There's a glitch with YouTube where there are a certain amount of comments that just don't show up on the actual video page. I don't have any restrictions on comments. I don't hold for review or anything like that. Everything goes through and then I reply, and if there's spam or trolling, I get rid of it at that point. So if you reply, send a message via this channel on any of the videos, you should get a reply. If you're not, it's because somewhere along the process YouTube is filtering out your comment, and I am not able to reply to it. I had a really interesting comment that I saw on the announcement page from somebody who's, and maybe you're watching now, who's lived in the US for 30 or 40 years and is thinking of doing the same thing that I'm doing in moving back after all this time. And I went to reply, and the comment just disappeared. So that was really frustrating because I really wanted to connect with that particular person because we have a lot in common. So hopefully, they'll be able to sort out what's going on with YouTube or comment again, and we can connect. But I just wanted to make that point because it's come up a few times lately. One person asked me if I had an issue with them because I didn't reply to their comment, and I for some reason that comment came through, but there are other comments preceding that did not. So just want to make that clear. I reply to every comment. If you don't see a reply, it's because for some reason I couldn't get to it when I see the announcement. So I do that about once a week. I go through and I spend about an hour replying to comments. So I just wanted you all to be aware of that. So I plan to keep the content coming. A lot of people have said goodbye to me as if I'm disappearing. I'm still going to be on YouTube. It doesn't matter whether I'm in the US or the UK as far as digital goes. So I'll still be posting, I'll still be bringing content. I'll try to include some interesting comparative stuff between the two countries. I'll try to include a couple of interesting short videos while on my trip, just to keep stuff coming. It'll probably be shorter, maybe music or history related. I might try and visit an early instrument place in Dublin, and that would be interesting to maybe film a few minutes and show you that. Stuff like that. So anyway, I'll hopefully have some guitars to show you in a couple of weeks time, in case you're missing the guitar reviews. All right, folks, take care. See you soon.